It happens. City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Akosia Ochre.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes, 7 people feared dead in the Savannah region following intercommunal clashes. We'll be getting the full details for you here shortly on Eyewitness News. Also coming up, University of Education Uniba staff against their board chair. They want him removed. They've catalogued a number of issues. We'll be sharing them with you, plus a possible reaction from the board chair. And later on Eyewitness News, we take you to Asin North, the latest constituency to be going through a by-election in a few weeks from now. And we are hearing that the roads are seeing a resurfacing. Residents say, don't take us for a fool. Stay with 97.3 CTFM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
the GRA to scale up VAT compliance enforcement efforts to ensure tax laws are adhered to.
That's in 15 minutes from Netili Neti of the business desk of CTFM and City TV. Eyewitness News is live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, on YouTube, and on Facebook. We are also on a number of affiliate stations across Ghana. We are in Nakwanduri on SCAP 101.3 FM. We are in Boko on Source 100.1 FM. We are in Laura on Westlink 88.1 FM. We are in Tamale on Diamond 93.7 FM. We are in Adakluwaya on Adanu 107.7 FM. We are in Ho on Global 105.1 FM. In the Ashanti region, we are on Kumasi's Alpha Radio 104.9 and Orange 107.9. In the Hafo region, we are on Hammers Radio 106.5 FM in Goso. We are in Sunyani on Greener 95.9 FM. In the Western region, we are in Takrady on Premier 100.5, Beach 105.5, and Sky Power 93.5. All of them in the regional capital, Takrady. Do send us your reactions by sending your message to 0549 986 996. Let's start off from one of the newest regions in Ghana, the Savannah region, and we are told that there is a clash there that has resulted in the death of some 7 persons. Richard Fogo is a man in the region. He's joining us from the regional capital, Damongo. Richard, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Sandra.
Which district are we talking about, and how far is it from Damongo, and what have you gathered so far?
We are talking about the Daboya, the North Gonja district. If you are talking of constituency, that would be the Daboya Mankarigu constituency. And it's quite a distance from Damongo, about 3 hours from Damongo to Daboya, and then to Mankarigu is about another 2 hours before you proceed to Lukula, where this class, we understand, is taking place. It's the boundary between the Savannah region and the northeast region of Ghana.
I see. So it borders the northeast region, which I find a bit interesting because the northern region is between Savannah and northeast. So this will be closer to Upper East, or is closer to the downside. I'm just trying to get a geographical location of the area.
It's closer to Upper East. That area also borders. From there you are able to enter into the Mamprusi West, and I think, and then from there you can pass through there to Fumbisi, and then to Sandema, to Nabrongo, and then to Bolga.
I see. So this would be the Gonja land bordering the Mamprusi land. What have you gathered so far? What has happened there?
Over the couple of the past few days, there has been a tension in the area between the Wasipe traditional area council and then some other traditional council that purportedly belongs to the Nairi, that's the Mampugu traditional area, over that community called Lukula. The Mamprusi settlers on that land are claiming to be honest, and so they have a Mamprusi chief there. And then over the past few days, there were reports that the Wasipi traditional area was sending a chief, a Gunja chief, to that community, and so the tension has been brewing. And this morning we got reports that the tension has escalated into clashes where houses have been touched and people have been killed. We understand about 7 people so far have been killed in the clashes. One of them, a chief, who is not a chief of that Lukula community, but he's a sub-chief belonging to the Mamprusi ethnic group, is among those that have been killed. Unconfirmed reports indicate that the clashes has extended to a nearby community. I'm still working to get the name of the community, but the reports that are coming in is that it's not looking good in that area. We understand almost all the houses in Lukula, which are mostly thatch houses, have been burnt down.
Now, Richard, we do know that in currently the police do not really grant interviews when it comes to these matters at the local level. What sources are you working with from the community?
We are working with, like I said, unconfirmed. The community is hardly accessible, and the stories that we are picking up, we are unable to go there. But people around that area keep sending information through social media, and the people of Wasipi, we continue to hear about warriors from Wasipi, that is Daboya, being sent there. So we have sources in Daboya who give us information about what is happening at Lukula. Unfortunately, the police wouldn't speak. Just some 10 minutes ago, I spoke to the regional NADMO director. He said that he has heard the reports that are coming from there. His directors, his district director has not been able to go to the community involved because of the security nature of the situation. They are waiting for things to calm down before the district directors can go there and assess and tell him the extent of the damage. So he's unable to give us any official position from the side of the NADMO. I tried reaching out to the regional minister, and as I'm just speaking to you, I've seen his call coming in to find out what brief he has gotten from the area, from the security agencies. But like you said, unfortunately for the police, they are mute on the matter as usual and will not tell us anything.
Very well. Please pick up the call, get more, and then share with us when you do have them. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
That's Richard Fogo. He's our correspondent in the Savannah region. Let's go to the Regional Coordinating Council and speak to the regional minister, who is head of security in the region. The Honorable Said Jibril is the Savannah regional minister. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News on CTFM in Accra.
Thank you, Maro, and thank you for having me.
So we're just receiving this disturbing news about clashes that has led to death. At least the report we have is that it's 7. As a regional minister, has this briefing reached you yet?
Thank you very much. I've had a briefing close to 3 hours from my regional police commander, who is currently at Lukula, where these disturbances took place. He confirmed to me that it's one person, sadly, has lost his life, and is a chief of the Lukula community.
I see. I believe they are still conducting investigation, but is there a history to this?
Sure. Omaru, if you remember, this whole Lukula, Mimpiasem, these particular 2 communities administratively fall under the North Gonja district. And North Gonja is one of the districts in the Savannah region. There's no dispute about that. The only dispute we have is about the 2 traditional areas, the Jaha traditional area located in the Northeast region and the Waspi traditional area located in the North Gonja district in the Savannah region. these two paramount claim that those communities, PSM and Lukula, belongs to them. And for that matter, they have to enskin their chiefs in those two communities. And this is where these clashes began. It all started somewhere in 2019 when the chief for Mimpiatem died, and he was going to be enskinned by the Waspe traditional area. And so when a chief is enskinned for Mimpiatem, he also takes care of the other communities. That is Sekwege number 1, Sekwege number 2, and then Lukula, precisely in the North Gonja district. But quite recently, the Janga traditional area also thought that those communities belongs to them. And so they also enskinned chiefs to represent the Mamprugu traditional area in those communities. And this is where the problems began since 2019.
So it has to do with who has a right to enskin who in that area.
Absolutely.
So
who the land belongs to.
So politically, the place is in Savannah region, but traditionally it is Mamprugu land. Is that what it means?
No, I'm not saying that. Traditionally, two traditional areas are claiming that portion of land and those communities. That is the Gonja Traditional Council, specifically the Waspe Foromancy is claiming that land and those communities, and the Janga Traditional Area under the Nairi is also claiming those communities and that disputed land as well. So this is how the clashes is between Gonjas and the Mamprosis.
I see. Now, one person is dead, at least what you have gotten official, even though earlier report we had was 7. And that person we are told is a chief. Now, do we know if this is a chief from, do you know which side this chief is from?
The chief, I'm told by my regional police commander, is from the Mamprugu area. That's the Janga traditional area.
Now, there would be consequences or reprisals, wouldn't there? Or the police assures you that they're ready for this?
We have already positioned the police in those two communities. Precisely, it's a joint operation between the Northeast Regional Police Command and the Savannah Regional Police Command. Initially, we were struggling with logistics and then even the men and women. But as we speak, because of the situation that we face, we have had enough men and women and enough logistics in place. And sadly, this morning when we were moving some of the police from the Daboya traditional area to the two communities, or the Daboya Divisional Police Command, to those communities, they were involved in an accident. And as we speak, we have to elevate them to Tamale Regional Hospital. 7 policemen were involved in that accident. And thankfully, they are all alive as we speak.
Thank God for that. Now, someone from the community who has sent us a message says that, so the person gives us 5 communities. It says Mpasem in North Gonja, Sakwega number 1, Sakwega number 2, Lukula, and then Patorigu.
Patorigu, I didn't mention Patorigu because Patorigu is in the Northeast region.
Good.
And I can speak for the communities that fall administratively in the Savannah region.
Indeed, the person says Patorigu is in the Mamprugu Muadugri district of the Northeast region.
Obviously. That's why I said it's in the Northeast region.
And
but Sakwege number 1, Sakwege number 2, Mimpiasem and Lukula administratively fall under the North Gonja district.
Under your
and
region.
That is the Savannah region.
Okay. The person says these 5 communities are now like ghost towns since all the women and children have run away, leaving the aged and vulnerable. We wish to appeal to your station to call on the National Security and Ghana Police Service to come to our aid. In fact, the military should be called to and help on our behalf to help protect lives and property and prevent this from continuing. That's what the person has said.
Obviously, it is a fact In fact, this rumor of these clashes has been on for close to 2 days now. So there were a movement of people, particularly women and children, from these communities to safe areas as we speak. But for Sakpege number 1 and number 2, I am 100% sure that the residents are still there, because the assemblyman just spoke to me not quite long, also asking for security, because they are also afraid that their communities may be attacked. And so they have not moved out. But 100% sure that, what do you call it, Lukula, there's nobody there. Mimpeas and people have moved out. Patargo, people have moved out in the northeast.
When you say people have moved out, it means they have fled the town.
They fled the town, yes. They fled the town about 72 hours back.
Does it mean that there are people who have invaded the town and are fighting or shooting? What is the nature of it?
This was really what happened. You know, both traditional areas brought in their warriors into this, particularly these two communities, Mimpeasem precisely, and Lukula. And Lukula is where the fighting actually took place during the early hours of this morning. And so that is why that place, most of the houses have been touched. And then there's nobody eventually in Lukula except the police, who have been able to flush out the warring factions who were there. And in actual fact, we are in touch with the police. Like I told you initially, we have enough men and women at Lukula and Mpiasem. These are basically the two main communities where we think if there's going to be any clash again, it's most likely to take place in those two communities. So we have enough police at that place.
You don't need military enforcement.
Yes, that is the situation now. We, as a regional coordinating council or the chairman for RECSEC, have the military base. 155 regiment is right seated in Damango, but the chain of command is such that if the police are unable to control the situation or contain the situation, then we'll be forced to call in the military. But as it is now, the police are able to contain the situation and are assuring the two regional coordinating councils that they will be able to handle the situation. So it is now a joint operation between the Northeast Regional Police Police and the Savannah Regional Police. So they are handling the situation as we speak. And they have not given us any feedback that they can handle the situation. If that be the case, then we will call in the military to support them.
Very well. Thank you and wish you all the best. Please protect the area for us.
Thank you so much.
That's Honorable Said Jibril. He's the Savannah Regional Minister. So the earlier information we had was that 7 people had died during an inter-ethnic clash somewhere in the Savannah region, where it borders the Northeast region. But the regional minister has just said to us that the brief he has from the regional police commander is that it's one person who has lost his life. But a number of people have fled their communities, as you've heard him there. But he says the police is dealing with the situation and the camp would be returning, hopefully. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. We're coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. We return with more. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched.
Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies DA improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has urged all factions in the Boko conflict to collaborate with government and other key stakeholders to resolve the disputes in the area. The Vice President says without peace, Boko will not see the needed development. Addressing the chiefs and queen mothers of the Upper East region, Dr. Bawumia expressed anger at the attacks, injuries, and the compromised security in Boko.
As a son of the soil, my heart breaks about what is happening in Boko. The conflict in Boko is very unfortunate because we are really one people and we should be together and not fighting. And so I hope that the initiatives that government has initiated through the House of Chiefs and the Otumfuo that is ongoing will help us bring lasting peace to the Boko area and therefore help us develop our part of the country, because conflict leads to poverty. That has been shown very clearly. For us, on the part of government, we understand that to prevent conflict and to enhance peace, we have to make sure that development in Ghana is inclusive, that everybody must feel a part of the development that we see in the country.
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, organized labor has issued a 2-week ultimatum demanding the reinstatement of 3 of their local union leaders whose appointments have been terminated by Sinon Asogli Ghana Limited. According to organized labor, the termination of these leaders was a result of their decision to join the Ghana Mining Workers Union, which operates under the umbrella of the Trades Union Congress, TUC. Following a closed-door meeting with the Minister of Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafwewa, the Secretary General of TUC, Dr. Yalba, stated that organized labor is steadfast in their demands and will not relent in their pursuit of justice.
We want to warn them that we are giving them this chance, that organized labor is speaking and they better listen. And this message is not going only to management of Sinon Asogli. It is also going to the President of Ghana and his government. They better listen to organized labor. Otherwise, they know what will happen. I don't have to even mention it. So, comrades, because this is about the 3rd or 4th time we are discussing this issue, we are not going to waste your time. Those who should listen. And not only listen, they should hear us. That if we are giving them time, we are giving them up to 26th of June to get our 3 guys back to work. And stop all that intimidation going on and allow the union to finish the process of unionization. If that doesn't happen, by the 26th of this month, they will hear from us. In our usual balance, we will advise ourselves.
So that was Dr. Yauba, who's the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress. Now, the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining says the failure of governments to prosecute persons engaged in illegal mining, popularly referred to as galamsey, has emboldened others to engage in the act. Over 80 illegal miners have been arrested by the Obuasi District Police Command after they exited a mine shaft belonging to Anglo Gold Obuasi Mine in the Ashanti region. Speaking to City News, convener for the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining, Dr. Ken Ashibe, said government would not achieve a different result if it continues to use the same approach in its fight.
It is basically a continuation of what happened in Goldfields, Wassa, where you had a mob, led by foreigners with arms going, attacking the mine and destroying vehicles, core samples, and all of that. And it just tells me that we are getting into the state of lawlessness, where because of the fact that these illegal miners know that there are no repercussions, there are no consequences for what is being done, they are being emboldened. They have seen that the minister can call out for contract mining. They have a situation where a former DC will be caught on tape confessing to an illegality, and nothing happens to them. So why would they also not want to take their pound of flesh? And so what we're doing is that we are nesting this demon and this monster, and very soon some parts of our country will become no-go areas because these illegal miners have been emboldened, and we know the scourge of wars that surround us. We know the threat of these terrorists and all of that, and they are looking for money to fund the operation. So by the time you see it, they have come and they've taken over particular areas, and then we can't do anything about it. So it is really important that our leaders realize the fact that where we're going, and we need to stop it, and things have to be done differently. And so it's just the fact that it is the next step to where we are, the slippery slope that we are on.
Well, Dr. Ken Ashibe also outlined steps that ought to be taken in the fight against illegal mining.
We also now need to move to the next step. And I think for me, one of the radical ones we need to do as a coalition is that we need to now get to the point where maybe we start suing some of these people who are involved or are complicit or who have to act and are not acting. And another of the radical different things I think we should do is that we should be petitioning, the IMF, be petitioning the World Bank, so that one of the conditionalities they should be given for being able to access this fund, this loan that we are getting, is how are we ensuring that the governance structure of our natural resources are actually being implemented. And maybe we need to help with a PR campaign that drops this down. The University of Energy and Natural Resources are talking about this media academia partnership, where we come together, they do the research, and then we do the advocacy. I think the time has come. Because if we do that, and we get the local community to start rebelling against the state, to start holding the people accountable, what we immediately will see is that democracy will start correcting it. Because the politicians, all they are interested in is the next election, not the next generation. If the community starts pushing back on this, because they want their vote, they will start acting correctly. So I think that's one of the things we need to do. How do we sensitize, the people in this community to know that these things that are happening? So maybe we need to start using shock and awe. It would be interesting if we could get billboards in these communities, showing the people who, have died, people who they're still back, showing them some of these children. The only thing we need to do is this whole ethical dilemma about showing children, how do we cover their faces and all of that, but still be able to shock people into action. We need to be able to demonstrate to people that their very survival is at risk.
You heard Dr. Ken Ashigbe, who is convener for the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Now, the African Center for Counterterrorism has requested that the government collaborate with the National Commission for Civic Education to intensify their campaign on the See Something, Say Something initiative. In May 2022, the Ministry of National Security launched this initiative to encourage citizens to report suspicious acts of terrorism and violent extremism. However, 1 year after the launch, the African Center for Counterterrorism believes that insufficient resources have been dedicated to educating people on the strategy. Emmanuel Kotem, the executive director of the center, expressed these concerns.
To look at the way the terrorists have expanded their tactics in dealing with some of these issues, it's always right and proper to bring in the citizenry. I'm asking government to scale up that process and depoliticize it. That government nominated to lead the process, it defeated the entire essence of the campaign. We realized just recently the National Commission of Civic Education have gotten funding to embark on sensitizing the people about violent extremism. So government should have partnered the National Commission for Civil Education, which is NCC, to undertake that campaign.
Emmanuel Koting is executive director of the African Center for Counterterrorism. Let's do some politics now, because the new patriotic party flag bearer hopeful Kennedy Ohene Ijapon is confident of victory in 2024 should he be elected as flag bearer of the party. His team made this known after picking the forms at the NPP headquarters in Accra. The Asin Central Member of Parliament becomes the 9th person to have picked the forms since the party opened nominations. In an interview with City News, campaign manager for Kennedy Ijapon, Kwame Owusu, indicated that the grassroots of the party is attracted to what he described as the disciplinary nature of the candidate.
We believe in the grassroots. The people are excited about what Honorable Ken stands for. Honorable Ken does not stand for indiscipline. Honorable Ken is honest in terms of his dealing with the country and the business alike. Honorable Ken is patriotic, that he will die for Ghana. He has demonstrated that. So in most of the times, if you hear him talking loud or making a case, it is what people will come in and say that he's non-conforming. Of course he's non-conformist, because he stands for the ordinary people, and ordinary people are not conformists.
How would this play into his chances?
Very easy. That is what people like. People want somebody who is disciplined, because too many indiscipline in this country. Indiscipline leads to corruption, but once you see a man that you believe is honest and you're going to work for him, it has to be at the back of your mind that whatever you do, you face the whip very, very squarely.
Kwame Owusu is campaign manager for New Patriotic Party flag bearer hopeful Kennedy Ohene Ijapon.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka, in Accra. Let's go to the University of Education, Winneba now. There's some fresh trouble on that campus. There's a group known as the Concerned UEW Staff. The group is demanding the removal of the governing council chairman. The group says the governing council chairman, known as Nana Ofori Ansa I, is an autocratic leader. Professor George Kankam Sr. speaks for this group of staff, and he actually signed their statement. He's joined us on the line. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you so much, and a special good evening to my cherished listeners.
Great. How many are you in this Concerned UEW staff?
For Concerned UEW staff, we are over 150. In fact, I am speaking in my capacity as the president of MPP lecturers of University of Education, Winneba, precisely senior patrons, and the chief patron of TESCON. And for the concerned group, the leader, please. We are over 150, and even more than that.
So you are New Patriotic Party lecturers or staff of UEW?
Yes, New Patriotic Party lecturers of UEW.
Do we have
national?
By the way, do we have National Democratic Congress lecturers too?
Yes, we have.
So your campus is divided between NDC and MPP?
They belong to the king. It's not only on the University of Education campus only. On all the campuses, we have groups for the dominant party.
I know there's TEN and TESCON, but that's students. I didn't know that the lecturers and staff also aligned and will take part in this group.
The staff we have the Friday club at the University of Cape Coast and other clubs at other universities. And the NDC one is the team. So we have them on all the.
But the NDC team is for the students, or you're saying that the lecturers are also part?
The lecturers are also part, please.
So you are also part of TESCON?
I am the chief patron of TESCON.
Oh, I see.
And the president of senior patrons. The senior patrons is the lecturers of New Patriotic Party branch of UW.
I see. Interesting.
I am at the same time the chief patron of TESCON, and for the concerned staff, I'm their leader, please. I have been at the University of Education for the past 30 years.
What do you teach, or what do you do?
I teach counseling psychology, teacher education, and research methods.
Do you have any administrative role that you play in the school?
Professor Kankam has held almost every position in University of Education apart from Vice Chancellor and Pro-Vice Chancellorship. I have been Dean of the Faculty of Education for 3 times, Director, and I terminated as the Principal of the Jumafo campus.
I see.
So apart from the position of Vice Chancellor and Pro-Vice Chancellor, my 32 years of University of Education, 22 years of it has been management position. And I have been a council chairman before. I was the council chairman of University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani.
I see. Okay. So this decision of yours to have the governing council chair removed, is it a political one or an administrative one?
Not at all. Anybody who knows Professor Kankam knows that I have never gone to lectures to talk about politics. Everybody at the University of Education knows me for my objectivity and frankness. It is purely administrative and in the best interest of University of Education, Winneba. Like I did say.
What has he done? What are his sins?
Good. My good brother, if you have been following trends at University of Education, Winneba, you will agree with me that painfully, since 2015, the University of Education has always been in the news for bad things. And this has been a serious case to some of us. And it was because in 2015, Professor Malta Aboke was appointed the Vice Chancellor of University of Education, Winneba. Let me emphatically say that Professor Aboke's appointment passed through a very thorough process, through a set committee. And as I speak, I see Professor Malta Aboke as an accomplished scholar like myself, and we have been at the same faculty for over 30 years. So I have a lot of respect for him, and he has a lot of respect for me. Unfortunately, in 2017, there were certain developments in the university, and Professor Aboke tenure had to be truncated. Since his tenure was truncated, the University of Education had been in the news for bad reasons. When Professor Aboke's tenure was truncated, Reverend Father Anthony Akubuni was appointed the Vice Chancellor. But before Professor Akubuni's tenure came to an end, a search committee that is demanded by the university statutes was put in place in August 2021 to appoint a Vice Chancellor for University of Education, Winneba. That search committee was chaired by Professor Moses Simpson and other prominent professors. When the search committee finished its work and it was about to submit its report, that was when Nana Ofori-Ansah's council came into being. A court procedure put an injunction on the search committee and prevented the council from receiving the search committee report and discussing it. And let me say that that injunction we see as frivolous. And I'm going to explain this. Thank God, in February 2022, the Winneba High Court gave order that Professor Aboke should come back to finish his tenure and finish his mandatory 60 years of retirement. We were all happy. My good friend, Professor Aboke has come back, and all things being equal, Professor Aboke will finish his tenure in September this year. All of us were of the view that it was Professor Aboke's tenure that was truncated, that created all this hula baloo about University of Education, Winneba. So, per design, if Professor Aboke has been brought back by the court order to finish his tenure of office, the University of Education to witness peace and then continue its growth. Unfortunately, that is not what Nana Ofori-Ansah's council is doing. Nana Ofori-Ansah's council is rather trying to plunge the university into further chaos. Why do I say this? One, the search committee report that was put in place in August 2021, Nana Ofori-Ansah is saying that it is moot because of the frivolous injunction. Fine, if you are a council chair and you claim it is moot, then all those who even took part in that contest, it applies to them. Surprisingly, the same Nana Ansah is mooting for Professor Justin Mutua, who contested for the Vice Chancellorship per the search committee of 2021. to be the Vice Chancellor of University of Education, Winneba. Let me place on record that per divine, myself and Professor Owusu Mensah happen to be the members of the set committee for August 2021. And the committee at the end shortlisted 2 people so that in the unlikely event of the third candidate sending the appointment down, the second candidate will take it. Professor Justin Michua was the third, and he was not shortlisted. So if you say that report is moot, and you, the same council chairman, you are pushing for Professor Justin Michua to be the vice chancellor, what example are you saying? As a council chairman, are you not exhibiting double standards?
So now, the challenge now is that you believe you are in position to take over as vice chancellor, but someone else is being nominated by the the board chair.
No. That is not what I'm saying.
I'm saying that so you and what you mentioned another professor, the 2 of you who were first and second.
No. I didn't say I contested for the position. I said
no. I didn't say you contested. I'm saying you were part of the short list.
No. I was a member of that set committee. I was a member of the set committee. Myself and Professor Owusu Mensah, we represented convocation on that set committee. Is that clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Yes.
All right. So if I ask you to list the specific scenes beyond the challenge with the work of the committee and the decision of the court, what other things has he done to warrant you asking for his removal?
My good friend, when Nana came, he didn't even tell us openly that he did not have thorough knowledge about university management and administration. And for us, that we saw was even good. If somebody has been frank to say these things, and you see, it's a learning process. So we thought that, having said that, he was going to learn. But that is not the case. We now have a vice chancellor who is showing no respect for the statutes of the university. A classic example was the appointment of the current chancellor of the university. The statute states inter alia that at least we should have 3. At the time we had the 3, he postponed the thing because his favorite candidate had not been nominated. And as a council chair, even at council meetings, you can set for this. Normally, it is the council chair who rather seeks the opinion of other council members before we conclude. In the case of the chancellor, it was our council chair who first spoke and said he has endorsed this person and he is prevailed upon the other council members to accept this. This is a serious affront to council meetings and council procedure.
This is your demand for his removal. Are you asking him to resign or be removed?
We are asking for his removal.
Who does the removal? Per the processes of your procedure of your school, who can remove him?
Per the council chairman. The council chairman is usually appointed by His Excellency the President of Ghana.
So has this your call come to the president?
Yes, we are following it up. We are sending a letter to the president. Earlier on, during his first 7 months of office, our UTAC and GAWA wrote to the president, office of the president, Coming events cast their shadow, requesting humbly that he should be removed. That was not done. In fact, if a president appoints a council chairman, the big question is, who are we to request for his removal? But the truth of the issue is that we are in the university and we want the University of Education, Winneba, to develop. We wouldn't want the university to be run for people's parochial interests. Not at all.
Very well. Thank you. But by the way, this person you want removed, is he on the NPP side or NDC side of the teacher groups?
For that, I don't know.
Oh, how? I thought you knew all your members. You've been there for 30 years.
So he's not a lecturer. A council chairman.
I know. So he's not on campus with you. He's an external person.
Yes.
Very well.
In the university structure.
Okay, I get it.
Council is the highest decision body making.
I get it now.
Decision making body.
I get it. Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Prof.
And then there's another thing I would want to emphasize.
If you can say it in 30 seconds, I'll be happy because I don't have a lot of time.
Yes. We are pleading that the government we have a lot of respect and love for our politicians and our MPs. But we are pleading with the government to ensure that our politicians and our MPs take their hands off the universities. If we allow the politicians to decide who should become a vice chancellor and who should be removed from a university, I am telling you, we'll be doing education great disservice.
Which politician are you talking about, though?
Come again?
Which politician are you referring to?
Which politician?
Yes, the ones you want to...
I'm not mentioning anybody's name.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm talking about the University of Education, Winneba.
That's fine. Let's leave it.
The political interference is too much for those of us who are the MPP lecturers and the lecturers at large.
Thank you for speaking to us, Prof.
We are saying that when it comes to education, we should be apolitical. If we allow this thing to continue, we do education great disservice.
Thank you. That's Professor George Kankam Sr. He is spokesperson of the group known as Concerned Staff of UEW. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 CTFM. Let's remain in the central region. There's a by-election that will come up later this month in Asin North because the member of parliament for that area has been considered or declared by the Supreme Court as illegitimate to have been on the ballot in 2020. Calvi Seta is our correspondent in the central region. He has been to the constituency, and there's a disturbing development about projects that are just springing up because of the by-election. At least that's what the residents are saying to him. Calvi, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. What have you found so far?
Well, Sandra, it's interesting, to see that in a matter of few hours, they started construction of some roads that has been abandoned. The town road, which is the district capital of Asin North. This morning, I witnessed some machines on the road trying to reshape the road. Obviously, they are going to put bitumen on the road as a form of, construction. Throughout the communities, according to residents, several months down, they have not seen any road construction, and that particular portion of road that connects to the community has been abandoned for so many months, and that they are surprised that just because of the announcement of the by-elections, machines have come on and they are working. It is a divided opinion. Some portion of the people in the consensus also believe that, even when it comes to by-elections, you are going to campaign based on, what you have done. So they don't see anything wrong with the construction of road projects within the district capital standard.
I see. Thank you for speaking to us. As Calvi Steta is our correspondent in the central region. Let me go to the NDC side. Apa Martin is Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC in Asin North. Martin, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. Now that roads are coming up, are you sure this seat you're not going to lose it?
My brother, good evening to your listeners. It is very unfortunate. Now the MPP think that the Asin North people, they are fool. They are not fool. They are very wise. This road was even to 5 times before the 2020 election. They started the 2020 election. At that time, there was no a single amount was given to the contractor on the site. So they took intervention of the Honorable Jim Dechikwesi to invite the Minister of Road, Honorable Amakwata, the floor of the Parliament. And the Honorable Jim Dechikwesi specifically asking Honorable Amakwata on the construction of the road in the Assembly Township. In fact, the Honorable Amakwata was not able to explain a certain things to the of the Assembly. And now that we came to this in the by-election, now they get to the sense that it is the need to construct a road for the people of Assembly. It's not bad, but we are telling them whether they construct the road or not, the people of Assembly have been decided already. And two, we are asking them, after the by-election, are they going to continue the road or they will pack their tools and leave the place? So we are waiting for them. And let's say it is only Assembly that is they are be able to construct the road, or they have be construct the road for the Assembly entire the Assembly constituency.
But these roads, were they not already part of government plans? So that maybe it just happens that this is the time the contractor was ready to go to site?
My brother, it's never true. Even the engineer on the site, Honorable Jim Dechikwesi invited the engineer his own house in asking him either have been receiving money or not. He said no. He have raised about 5 certificates. Even the penny was not able to give it to the contractor. So the contractor uses his own money to do something on it. Since 2020 up to date, and I think you have seen that this in the pictures that's circulating on the social media. That's the nature of the Assembly as a district capital.
All right, but that notwithstanding, how confident are you that your candidate, James Dechikwesi, is going to win the impending by-election?
Mr. James Dechikwesi is the second Jesus Christ. He's a second Jesus Christ for the Assembly and the people of Ghana. In the total population in the Assembly or the voter population in the Assembly is 54,000. And 2020, Honorable James Dechikwesi win 17,000 and plus, and the incumbent win 14,000. The difference is 3,705. And looking at the things, look at the hardship the people are going through in the Assembly and the entire Ghana. So as we are going for the by-election, it is agenda 29,000 for Honorable Jimmy Dechikwesi because he has done a lot to the people of Assembly.
Very well. Wish you all the best and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you too.
That's Apa Martin, his Deputy Communications Officer of the NDC in the Assembly North constituency of the Central region, where we are expecting a by-election to come up later. And talking about the earlier story brought to you from UEW, we interviewed Professor George Kankam Sr. There's a message that has come through from another lecturer from the same campus, Professor Samuel Atintonu. And he says, good evening, Umaru. I listened to your interview with Professor Kankam, and I'm happy with the way you ask your questions. He said, he's a hypocrite because he was one of the architects of the Bruni regime, and now the tables have turned and he's crying wolf. That's just one of the many issues coming up from University of Education, Winneba. Also, you have some other stuff.
Yes, let me do this last one. Ala Foods, producers of Dano Milk, has marked World Milk Day with market activation at La Paz and Medina markets In Accra, the company, together with its brand ambassador Benson Nanayao Odrobwating, popularly known as Funny Face, educated traders on the benefits of milk while also distributing some of its products. Speaking to City News, the general manager of Allah Foods Ghana, Vitotas Petronas, highlighted the significance of the day while reiterating the commitment of Allah Foods to produce fresh and quality milk for its customers.
The way we see dairy is an important part of nutrition on a daily, on a good nutritious diet. So having products that are healthy, that are good for you, that have various nutrients, vitamins A, B2, B12, D, calcium that is good for bones and good for brain as well, right? So it's an important. We as one of the major dairy companies provide that. So we know our products are safe and healthy and good to eat. So we try to give the chance for the broader public to try them out. But generally, I find it unique in terms of that we are farmer-owned. We're a farmer-owned dairy cooperative. So unlike most of the other companies, we control the full value chain. So we know where the products are coming from, and they're all coming from our farmer cows. They all adhere to the same standard. They have the same quality control along the way. We don't source the milk from somewhere else. It coming goes from different farmers or different markets or different players. It's all our milk, all the way. So from the farm to the dairy, the production sites, all the way to the market here in Ghana with our own facilities and distribution. So we can vouch for the product all the way. So that's, I think, what makes it more unique than many other products. And in the end, I think it's a lot to do with the taste. So I think we see that people prefer the taste that we have. And we're, of course, happy about that. The World Milk Day is finishing today, 1st of June, right? But we have a couple more days to go in terms of our celebration.
Vitotas Petronas is general manager of Allah Foods Ghana. Meanwhile, brand ambassador of Dano Milk, Benson Nanayao Drew Boateng, popularly known as Funny Face, has urged the public to continue purchasing Dano Milk.
I believe every Ghanaian should make it a point to get Dano milk. Dano milk, it's rich in calcium, protein, the vitamins A to D. And Dano milk is basically it's different. It's the quality is top notch. That's the more reason why I'm encouraging every Ghanaian to go and get Dano milk. When I sign something or when I endorse something, it is quality and it is quantity, it is swag there. Everything about anything I sign is top notch. So obviously that influenced the idea to sign for a quality company like Allah Foods Ghana and Dano Milk. Yeah. Today being a World Milk Day, I'm telling everybody out there, just go out there and get a milk, because basically, when you drink quality milk, your skin, everything, you think straight, everything is perfect, your skin looks smooth, pure nourishment. So everybody should go get it. Yeah.
Benson Nanayao Drew Boateng, popularly known as Funny Face, is brand ambassador of Dano Milk.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News, powered by citybusinessnews.com. My name is Netile Ajaho. Let's settle for the details now. The Ghana Revenue Authority has hinted of scaling up its VAT enforcement exercise. This comes as the authority's Domestic VAT Compliance Task Force has recently stepped up its enforcement efforts in the Ashiaman Township. During the operation earlier today, several shops were raided and essential record documents were confiscated. This move, according to the authority, is to ensure that tax laws are being followed and to increase government revenues. As a result of the operation, 3 retail shop owners, namely Eagle Ventures, Happy Stores, and New World Enterprise, have been apprehended for their failure to issue VAT invoices to customers. The Ghana LPG Operators Association has cautioned government against the exclusive implementation of the cylinder recirculation model program. The members believe it will be a direct threat to investments made by Ghanaians in the liquefied petroleum gas business. President of the Ghana LPG Operators Association, Kwame Sheikh, speaking to City News during the opening of the 5th National Congress in Takoradi, said Ghanaian investors must take the lead role in the program.
US dollars. There is no company in Ghana which makes LPG tanks. No, not stationary tanks. There is not one company. Every stationary tank you see in Ghana comes from outside. Nigeria is producing their own tanks. Tanzania is attempting to produce its own tank, and they are ably assisted by the government. But in Ghana, the government of Ghana has not even dreamt of going into that investment. So every tank in Ghana comes from outside. Now, when the cylinder recirculation model starts, what is going to be the fate of people who have bought tanks? We don't know. We in Glebwa, Ghana LPG Operators Association, have traveled outside before. And we know that in other jurisdictions, the CRM is there, the failing points are there. And I can tell you for fact that in Canada and the United States, CRM is there and failing points are there in Canada and in the United States. So why can't the two go on? But the government of Ghana is bent on rolling out the CRM and then at a point leave everybody in suspense. We don't know what is going to happen to our investment.
Kwame Sheikh is the president of the Ghana LPG Operators Association. The Ghana Investments Promotion Center is calling on logistics service providers in the country to partner governments in addressing logistics supply chain bottlenecks. The GIPC notes that this will help Ghana attract the necessary investment within the African Continental Free Trade Area and foreign direct investments. Deputy Chief Executive Officer of GIPC, Yao Amwating Efrie, made a call at the CEO's breakfast meeting recently held by the GIPC.
GIPC's mandate, as you know, is to mobilize inward investment into the country. And we are also doing so with an eye on exports. And so companies like Agility coming in as an anchor supporter is very, very good for all of us to have the conversations and be able to overcome the immediate bottlenecks that impede trade and investment in Ghana. And look, this event will not be a talk shop. The reason why Agility and others came on board is to ensure that we are really bridging the conversations and putting a spotlight on them. Agility is a private sector partner. We had a number of private sector persons and companies who were there, and they are looking for the types of services that Agility provides. And so the spotlight on the AFCFTA and building the linkages really is not a talk shop. Ghana's reforms through its incentives, programs, and so on is attracting that capital so that we can use it to leapfrog and springboard into the AFCFTA.
Yao Amwating Efrie is the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investments Promotion Center. And finally, players within the tourism space are being tasked to rope in the informal sector in the tourism value chain to help boost the local economy. It is projected that by the end of 2025, tourism alone will generate about $4 billion to the government. This is because over 2 million international tourists will be trooping into the country to experience Ghana's tourism sector. These comments were made by the Chief of Staff Akosua Frema Oseyopare at the National Tourism event at Peduase.
Active stakeholder involvement forms critical part of the effort to harness our cultural assets for inclusive tourism growth. A lot of effort must come from all stakeholders from the private and public sectors of the economy to promote our festivals, our cultural programs, and artistic expression. To achieve inclusive tourism growth, we must ensure that the benefits of tourism are shared equitably. This requires us to actively involve local communities in the tourism value chain by empowering them to participate in the sector, whether through artisanal crafts, cultural performances, or community-based tourism initiatives. We can propel local economic development, create sustainable economic opportunities, and reduce regional disparities. Communities must of necessity have some financial share of the proceeds from tourism ventures.
That was the Chief of Staff, Akosua Frema Osei Opari. And that's it for City Business News and Eyewitness News. It was powered by citybusinessnews.com. My name is Netele Nete Ajaho. Up next is Point Blank.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies DA improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chema. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight on Point Blank, we're talking about Pensioner Bondholders Forum. That group that has had a running battle with the government since the government introduced the domestic debt exchange program. That DDE has gone through, and there's another fight. Today it was raining, and this group of pensioners, retirees, converged on the finance ministry to protest. The leader of the group is Dr. Anna Nientri. He's joined me in the studio. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you.
How are you?
Fine. By the grace of God.
You're wearing a Ghana flag tie.
Yes.
What's that? It's not Ghana Day. It's not Independence Day.
No, that if we are doing national work, we must be national attire.
Is it national work? It's your pocket money now. Your
That is for the nation.
No, how? This is your own personal money.
People
How?
who are living in this nation are affected.
Okay, so tell me, the last time you and I engaged in the studio was because the DDE was coming up and you were opposed to it. That one has been solved. What is the new problem that you have?
Well, as you said, we were not opposed to it as such.
You're opposed to it touching your money.
That they should exempt pensioners. But they should have been the first group to ever think of them as the first group for exemption. So we got exemption after a hard struggle. This time around, it is the payment of the coupons and the principal. So we have been talking to government always, the delays, about the delays. We always say these are the monies that people are using for their medication. When you delay the payment, you are stretching them. If you deny them access to their medication, then of course you are compounding their health situation. Definitely, many of them will lose their lives. So don't do that. Give them their coupons so that they can take care of their medication.
When you say coupons, what is that?
The coupons are the interest, the periodic interest that are paid on bonds. If you buy a bond,
so government bonds,
you are supposed to be paid 6 months, every 6 months. If the government is giving you, let's say, 20% per annum, half of your interest is given to you every 6 months. So every 6 months, the coupon is due, the interest which we call it.
And this has always been the case.
That's the case for government bonds.
This is not treasury bill.
No.
This is government bond, government papers.
So every 6 months you receive your interest.
Okay. Now, has it always been a problem that the government delays in paying the coupons?
No, it has never. In fact, let me say, even previously, earlier on, sometimes your banks even credit you before they even get the money from government. When you are expecting money to come tomorrow, before you realize today your accounts has been credited. Because some banks were doing that as they know the accounts will always, government will always give them. So I believe they were doing that to say that we pay even on due day when even government hasn't given us money. We pay. So that has been the trend that always, if it's due on Monday, likely not to miss that Monday to the following day or the following 2 days, you are going to get it. So this is a new thing.
And how long have you been buying government bonds for? Personally?
For me, I started investing in government T-bills somewhere around 76, 77. I started working 75. And
you started saving immediately?
Saving immediately. That savings has been part of my behavior.
And you're saying that this problem with the bonds now is a first?
This is a first of its kind because government has never met such a situation. Default. We have never defaulted on.
So BOG pays the money to your bank, and then the bank pays to you. That's what happens.
Yes, that's the government. The government's account sits with BOG. So when the government directs, then the money will go to the various banks, and they will also pay.
What is the problem now? Why is that not happening?
Lack of the liquidity. There is no money to pay.
How? BOG prints money.
Well, they won't print money for this kind of expenses or this kind of.
So the government doesn't have money to pay.
Government says it doesn't have money to pay, and I believe so. The government has a problem.
So you because you have been in the finance sector.
But I also advise that government should borrow money from the treasury bill market to settle the coupons.
Give me a second. Now, these bonds that you bought from the government, that money you give to the government is an investment.
Yes.
The government also invests that money in turn.
Yes.
So I'm sure your money has been invested.
Yes.
There should be returns for the government so that the government then pays you.
Yes.
So why is it that government doesn't have money?
Government will not always invest the proceeds of bonds in solely economic activities that will generate returns. Social services are there. Government would put some money into hospitals, into things that may not
yield immediate.
That is also part of the project.
But since it's a recurring thing, I'm sure there's already a plan by government so that as soon as the money comes, it goes here, and by 6 months it will come back this. I mean, I'm sure government would have worked out all those numbers.
Government was doing that. Mainly, some of this is it is the inflow that comes for you to service the old one, as we are doing now with T-bills. Government may not have generated any internally income internally to service it. But when the bonds market was still there, available to government, every week government will issue bonds. Then it will use part to retire the maturing bonds, and then sometimes they borrow in excess to also use for other projects. So that was available for government. So they were having no problems. But now that you have hit a default point and you can no longer issue the bonds, then there's a challenge that you are not getting the new inflows to service this. And the only inflow avenue available to government is the treasury bill market. That is what is not closed. And that is where government can always go and borrow. That's why we are saying go there and borrow and give us.
Are you the only ones affected, pensioners?
Pensioners,
or every bondholder in Ghana is affected?
Every bondholder who has not tendered his or her bonds is affected. We were exempted, but there are other people who exempted themselves, the self-exemption that we explained.
So all these people have been affected.
Yes.
I want to know whether it's exclusive to just your group or
No.
everybody who is a government bondholder who exempted themselves.
Yes, also having been paid. But as I say, I was telling people that if government exempted you, you had a better.
That's why you insisted that the exemption come from the government.
You'll be paid when it is due, and you even have that better condition. You are not being paid. Then how much more people?
So let me simplify this. The government last year and this year said to you that the money you have come to give it, which is the bonds, it wants to stay a bit longer before it pays you back, between 5 to 15 years. You said to government that no, we don't want you to touch our bonds, which is our savings. Government challenged you, but for a number of months after a protest, eventually the government agreed and said, okay, we will touch other people's money, we'll give it to them back in 5 or 7 or 15 years. But yours, we will give you immediately matures. Now, the situation now is that it has matured, but you are not seeing it. And you also don't expect it in 15 or 7 years. So you're not even sure when it is going to come. Or has the government given you a date by which it is going to come?
No, as at now, no. Maybe tomorrow when you have the meeting before we can.
But the deputy minister met you.
But they couldn't say anything about the principal. That's why they said they would engage us. And that's the engagement that we have waited and written 2 letters to them that please do the engagement, but the engagement wasn't coming until today that the deputy minister says they will want to meet us to do the engagement tomorrow.
How way back since the default started?
The default started even before the DDEP got ended.
Okay.
Because
so which month are we talking about?
February.
So since
February 6th was the time the DDP was supposed to end, but it was pushed forward to 14th. At that time, by the time that the DDP has ended, there were already 6 February coupon, which was in arrears. But nobody said anything because the DDP has been extended. So by 21st, the new date for settlement, we call it settlement day. The settlement day is, if we are issuing securities, the settlement day is the day that everyone who wants to buy the bonds, money or checks or payment, whatever, should have been settled. And the issuer will get the funds. And the same settlement day, that's the day the issuer also should issue the bonds to you. So that is a day that both the money coming to the issuer should come, and the issuer also must issue the bonds to you. But in this case, because the issuer was not going to issue new bonds for you to take your money, that was the day that the issuer will issue new bonds for you and take back your old bonds and cancel it. So they issue you with a new bonds and cancel the old bonds on that 21st. So on that 21st, which is the settlement day, after the settlement day, as soon as the settlement day ends, the issuer now would know who and who didn't submit or tender in their bonds. So before the settlement day, I will not go and say, pay me, because the issuer wouldn't know whom to pay, because he doesn't know who and who are going to tender and who are not going to tender. So we exercise that restraint and say, no, you can't demand your money now, even though it was due on the 6th. You can't demand it now. You have to wait until settlement day. So when settlement day came 21st, then ordinarily by 22nd, you should see a payment being made for people who didn't tender. We waited until 27th. We weren't seeing anything. So we went to the ministry and said, look, settlement day has passed. You should have started paying. Still, you haven't paid. What is the challenge? and you haven't told any investor to anything. That was the day the ministry said they will start paying because of some reconciliation and others. They will start paying on the 13th. So we agree, 13th March. We agree that we wait for you to pay 13th March. 13th March means the first coupon, which was due on the 6th, would have been there for 1 month and some 7 days. But nevertheless, we accepted. Then on the 13th, we didn't see any payment. So 14th, we raised alarm before government came to say, I'm going to start paying today. And government starting today said he was going to pay only the ones that were due on the 6th February and 13th February. I said, why? Then what about the rest? Say, I'll tell you that in due course. We didn't hear anything. We complained.
Did they pay for the 6th and 13th?
Yes, they paid for the 6th and 3rd.
Okay.
Then later on, government came and said, I'm going to pay for those that were due on the 20th
of February.
And you hear about the rest later on. I say, that is not how. That is where we started saying, no, we have given you a chance.
So now you're receiving it piecemeal?
Yes. We have given you a chance when you had issues about the inconclusive nature, or you haven't completed the DDEP, you have completed, we said there were reconciliation issues, we have given you time to do your reconciliation. Now, there is nothing to be said about the delays. You have no reason to delay.
So that's why you decided to go to
from that side, then we gave government a letter that, look, by 21st of April, pay everything that is due. Otherwise, we will start picketing. The government did not do that. They called us for a meeting. They wanted to set up a technical committee to again go and look into how government will pay. We say, we are not the ones. You are the issuer. You have taken our money. We don't manage your budget for you. You should tell us how you are going to pay, not we coming to tell you.
So right now, where you are at is that your bonds have matured.
Yes.
Government is not paying you.
Yes,
So when you go to the finance ministry, all you are saying is give us our money.
Now we have
that's what you're asking for.
5 coupons.
All of them not
retired
yet.
Not paid. It used to be more, but when we started picketing,
it reduced.
They
and you're also certain that the government doesn't have money. So you're saying the government should go and borrow
from
to pay you back your money.
Market, that's all.
And pay you back your money.
Even though the government debts would go up. See, the IMF debt ceiling or debt ratio to GDP, they didn't say attain it today. You can borrow from the treasury bill market to pay all these things. Going forward, when you normalize things, you can still work within and bring your debt level to meet that target. It's not as if they say meet the target today. It's IMF saying that don't just go and borrow anything at all to come and pay. And of course, apart from the principal, which when you borrow to pay, you may increase your debt level a bit. For the apart from the coupon, that will increase your debt level. For the principal, if you borrow to pay, you don't increase your debt level. You owe 2 million. Then you go and borrow 500,000 to pay off some 500,000. You still owe 2 million.
You're still owing, yeah.
So why would government?
It's just that there's a new new debtor.
A new debtor, but your debt level is the same. So I can't understand why government is not borrowing from the treasury bill market to pay the principal.
And you're saying that the consequence of this non-payment is really troubling. I mean, just yesterday I received a message from Facebook, someone desperately wanting your number, who said that she's retired and she needs your help because she's also in this mess.
Yes.
You're saying that people are suffering.
Yes.
What kind of things are
people need
going through?
that money for? Yesterday I was going to 2 days ago. I was going home when I met a very senior lawyer who is now old and unable to, he was doing some exercise as well. And these are the people. If you meet people like that who have toiled and saved for their lives, and at some point you depend solely on your medication. If your medicine is not there with you,
you are gone.
You are gone.
And this is the money you used to buy that.
This is the money you use.
And that's why it was
saved. Is going to, you see, when you are praying that God should help you to give you long life, you have to plan to meet that long life. Because if you have long life, it comes with these pains, sickness. And this is the money you need. And people have started rationing their own medication. Because if the money is not coming, and you are supposed to take every day, you have to take one. You imagine people say, well, then I'll take it every 2 days or every 3 days. and your sickness level will rise, and that will lead you to your grave.
We have to go, but I'm just giving you 30 minutes, 30 seconds to talk to. I don't know whether you want to talk to the finance minister or the president.
Sort of the finance minister is the principal man.
So speak to
We
him.
would assume that the president even doesn't. He's not a.
He's not
finance man.
involved.
It's not involved. It's you who is a professional and you have been charged with.
Mm.
Please borrow from the treasury bill market and pay off. You will increase your debt level a bit, but it is better. And I always say that when we were in COVID time, Nana said, the president said, look, you can't bring back people who die.
They can bring
You
back
can
the
bring back
economy.
the economy.
Now the economy is dying.
Yes,
And
borrow from the treasury bill,
and bring back
increase
the
your debt
economy.
levels more, and pay these vulnerable groups, pensioners, and let them live. Because if you starve them of their own money, and they don't get the money to buy their medication and they die, you can't bring them back. But if we raise the debt level a bit, we can still resolve the debt level, as Nana said.
Thank you, and wish you all the best. That's Dr. Ananientri. He's with the Pensioner Bondholders Forum. So you go back to the picketing tomorrow?
Yes.
But the minister said come and meet today.
Yes, while we are there, we'll go and meet,
You go and meet
the minister. Yes.
So it's Aluta Continua.
Yes.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
My name is Omaru Sandama. The production by Beverly London and Kobna. We also have technical support from Daniel Squashi and new media support from Edwin Kwakofi. Eyewitness News returns tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. But up next is Sister. Do tune in. Good night.